Here's what we're going to do today. We came to you early on and pledged to put out the data. We have probably one of the most transparent dashboards in the nation around where information is. We've turned our dials. We're going to have to turn them back a little bit today, and that's what we're going to do. By being able to use that more targeted approach, it lets us keep those activities open, both from an economic standpoint, a well-being standpoint, the things we like to do standpoint, but targets very specifically ways that we think we can slow this spread. I would also note that one of the things that will coupled with this is, again, if we want to know who has this, we need to be able to provide testing on a wide scale. And yesterday's announcement was one more addition to that with all of our partners. Minnesota's depth and breadth of testing probably puts us amongst the top states in the country, and we built in the capacity that we controlled our testing by having the labs here. So we're going to have the ability to do this. And I would ask, and we saw this yesterday with our new lab at the Civic Center in Minneapolis, we'll have 11 opening up at armories across the state. We're trying to eventually get it where you can take the kit home, send it back, and have an answer in 24 to 48 hours. If you're 18 to 35, you're feeling healthy, you've done a lot of things right, but you just want to know because you want to protect your family, you want to protect your neighbors. Almost all Minnesotans are now within 30 minutes of 2 options to test. And again, this is barrier-free, pain-free, cost-free. Go in there, get it done, get a result, then let's start moving. So what we're going to do is limit of 10 person for indoor gatherings and outdoor gatherings. That just allows the two together to align. 3 households or less, including the host. You mix more households, obviously it just adds a whole nother dimension, meaning you've got 2 brother-in-laws and the 2 sisters-in-laws and yourself. You can bring them in, but I think, again, I keep coming back to this, you have to social distance, you have to wear a mask, and you have to recognize just because they're family and just because you know them, you've not eliminated the risk. And then this will go into effect at 10 p.m. on this Friday. We need to move now. This has happened incredibly quickly. You saw the stories of hospital systems around us that are already overwhelmed. We are still in a position to be able to handle this. There is going to be a lag time. This is the wave already breaking on the shore. What we're able to do is to shore up a little bit to push back after this one breaks for the next one that will come. Receptions and similar events. We're going to do a phased-in approach. Again, just to be clear, weddings and funerals, these are hugely important human activities, and it is incredibly painful not to do them. But what we're seeing is not the actual ceremonies involved in this, but the social gatherings afterwards. And this is a phased approach because, just to be candid with you, some of you have planned your wedding for 6 months or longer. You've planned it since we made some of those changes. Our intention is not to make that difficult for you. It's to make that day special without having it marked by an outbreak of COVID or the problems that come with it. So we'll go to a 50-person limit on the 27th, 25-person limit. And then these events will not happen from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. And there's no change in actual weddings, funerals, other similar ceremonies. Only those things connected with that reception or the celebration piece where food and beverage and those types of things are served. And again, we're not just randomly targeting these things. The data shows that a bunch of our outbreaks are coming from these types of activities. Again, no ill intent by the people involved, but this is how COVID-19 works. Bars and restaurants, indoor and outdoor capacity of 50%, no more than 150 people. Counters are closed for seating and service unless counter service only. Patrons need to be seated at tables. No bar games that require standing is permitted. And again, I just like to say, I've got a 19-year-old who went back and watches kind of an old movie classic, and I feel like the guy in Footloose, no dancing, no fun, no whatever. That is not my intention. My intention is to keep you safe so that you can all dance a lot longer and that our neighbors don't put them at risk. But I recognize this is painful. It's no fun. I'm as frustrated as you are. We should have broke the back of this thing months ago in this country. We have not. But now is the time for us to do it. No dine-in service 10 to 4, but open for delivery and takeout. And I'm just going to say, our hospitality industry has done more than anybody should have ever asked of them. And they have done it so right and they have gone to great pains, whether it be filtration, whether it be plexiglass, whether it be masking. And this is happening not because they're being lax, but because it's the setting that the virus is most effective at spreading in. And that is incredibly painful. I would encourage all of you, spend money at these businesses. My wife today ordered Thanksgiving dinner for our family from Colossal Cafe, and they're going to provide it, and we'll go pay them and be grateful for what they did. We can all do some of that to keep these folks going, but I think it's really important to recognize they have made every effort possible, and this is going to be painful. This is going to be painful for them, and we can help a little bit. This goes into effect this Friday night at 10 p.m.